This is my very first interstate motorcycle ride. This is one of those motorcycle trips where it just seemed like the moon and stars aligned just perfectly and set the wheels in motion for an incredible motorcycle trip.
All right, here we are. Where are we? We're outside of Crescent City in Cali.
Just south of Crescent City.
How's it going, George?
It's going good.
Having fun?
We're having a blast.
Here's the bikes. Got James over here and Richard. Look at the coast. It's awesome. This is awesome. How's it going, James?
Awesome.
Yeah?
I didn't notice that. Look at all that. That's wild.
And here we are in California. We're 2 miles short of a gas pump, and yeah. So this is Richard filling his bike up. Mine's almost out. James and Georgie over here. Hey Georgie, show us your tatas. Oh boy, just married. Dude. We've been cruising around, having a
I cannot believe that. Two miles.
2 freaking miles.
2 miles.
All right.
Speaking of how things just lined up beautifully for this trip to happen, I had just been laid off when the economy crash of 08-09 happened, and James was planning a trip to come up, so I sent him some gas money, and he was able to bring up my 1979 Ford F-250 with his BMW K1200 loaded in the back. And my next door neighbor Lucas was able to make the trip with us as well. So we just loaded up and headed on down to California. Rolling into Yosemite Valley was one of the most awe-inspiring moments of my entire life. Our eagle-eyed vision companion James noticed something on the side of the cliffs that I didn't take note of. And while I knew there are crazy people who climb the faces of massive cliff walls, I had personally never quite seen it. It was amazing to see where people were literally bedding down for the night either in cliffside tents or their little vertical bags, and those people are crazy. I'm pretty sure they're crazier than people who ride motorcycles. I don't know. That's pretty crazy. It was one of the craziest things I'd ever seen. To throw a little drama into this story, we never made reservations, and we always left late. There were certain individuals on this trip that were very hard to get motivated, and so we pretty much left late every morning and arrived late to our destinations every night. So, with poor planning, we wound up having to leave Yosemite Valley and make our way east over the mountain pass that night. I can't even begin to tell you how cold it was. And as beautiful as it was in the day, it turned to freezing sleet rain. And coming down the east side of the mountain range, swerving from rocks in the road in the dark with a fogged up windshield, I think we didn't get into camp until about 1:30, 2:30, where we finally found a place that was marked reserved, and I ripped the sign off the reserved pole and we set up camp. They never showed up. Descending into Death Valley, we hit one of the most amazing roads, and I'm so sorry I don't have really good footage, and what I do have is really unsteady and jerky. So I only have like 3 seconds before you have a seizure. I would literally say that this section of road, that particular ride that day, was one of the top 5 most exciting motorcycle rides I've ever been on. I had to pull over and tighten, firm up the suspension on my motorcycle because it was wallowing all over the place with my motorcycle loaded to the hilt. Once I did that, firmed things up, man, it was a spectacular ride. No exaggeration. We rolled across the Nevada desert into Las Vegas and then continued on towards Utah, where we roll past the home of the Everride channel, which I have recently become acquainted with because my buddy Justin in Washington State is a huge fan. And there you pass the St. George sign. At that point, Lucas split off and went into Salt Lake City, while James and I split off and went into Zion National Park. It was a beautiful ride into Zion National Park, and we got in before dark, set up camp, and it was a beautiful morning waking up there. We were definitely tired from the miles on the road, and sadly, the bulk of our trip was really coming to a close at this point. This particular trip really whet my appetite for cross-country travel on a motorcycle, and I hope in the future to have more opportunities to make some trips like this, camping out tent style. After getting ourselves all packed up, James and I headed out and continued to ride through Zion National Park. And after a little while, we had to split off as he went southeast towards Albuquerque, and I had to shoot off north towards Salt Lake City. I met up with Lucas later that afternoon in Salt Lake City, where we stayed the night. We got up early the next morning and made tracks to Spokane, Washington, where we ended a fantastic journey on two wheels.